Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Football Takeover. I'm G Talks Arsenal, your host for tonight's show. Obviously, this is looking ahead to a really important game. I feel like I say that every single week, but that's the part of the season we've got to. We've got to the run in for the title. Brighton versus Arsenal, a huge game where 3 points is a must. We are going to be joined by Ali at some point shortly. We're also going to be joined by OG Brenny. And I'm not sure on whether Neil will be joining us, but obviously just focus on who's with us at the moment. So we've got Bobby in the background, big up Bobby, pulling the strings, putting the slides together for tonight's show. He might not be with us on the screen, but he's always with us in spirit. He's actually with us backstage. But also we are joined by a regular face who we've seen obviously on our channel quite a few times over the last couple of weeks. Geeks, how you doing, bro?
I am very well, thank you, my friend. I hope you're well too, and just ready to talk everything Arsenal and Brighton.
Excellent. And also, might not be as a familiar face to a lot of you on our kind of YouTube channel, but obviously we're fully aware of who Dylan is. Massive Arsenal fan, big in the Discord. I've known him for a while. Absolute top geezer. How you doing, bro?
What an intro! What an intro! That's unbelievable. I'm good. I'm good. No, as I was saying to you backstage, I'm a little bit of a head cold and stuff. So, but I'll try to power through. Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about this game now. To be honest.
Excellent. And almost perfect timing. I'm going to introduce my partner in crime, brother from another mother, Coach Ali. How you doing, bro? Are you there?
Ali, can you hear us?
Can you hear us, Ali?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, boys. How are we?
All good, thank you, my friend.
Good. We want to know how you are, bro.
I'm not bad. Extremely hectic. Just got off a meeting. I'm on my way to another one. But I'm here to talk Arsenal with you beautiful people.
Wicked. Like I said, those of you who are watching already, the numbers are climbing. We will be joined at some stage by OG Brenny, maybe a few more. But what we're going to do is we've got a kind of limited schedule for tonight. So we're going to get right into it. I mean, there's no better place to start, really, than looking ahead to the game and basically, getting a feel for how we're all feeling. So I'm going to start with you, Dylan, first, because obviously you don't regularly come onto our shows. I think it's only right you get the stage first. How are you feeling, obviously, ahead of what is a massive game for us? Obviously counting down to hopefully winning this title. Difficult game, difficult place to go. Potential banana skin. Brighton are no slouches. A little bit in different form, but it's always a potentially tricky game for any top six side. So how are you feeling ahead of this match?
I am feeling more nervous for this game than I was for Chelsea, and that's the truth. With how City is playing and how frequently our games are coming about, you could like for a bit of rotation, but you're not going to get the rotation. As you said, Brighton are a tricky team for anybody. But I just think the way the pressure now is starting to build is like one slip up and it's kind of like all doom and gloom. So as I said, I'm more nervous for this game than I would be for Chelsea, and that's the truth.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those games where it's not like a game that I look at the beginning of the season and go, that's a game I'm really looking forward to, or that's a big six clash or anything. But it's one of those games you look at and you kind of go, ooh, okay. And I kind of feel like it's not that it's come at the wrong time, but Brighton's not a team I fancy playing away any point of the season. It's one of those fixtures.
Didn't he?
Yeah, it's one of those fixtures just makes me feel, as an Arsenal fan, a little uneasy. I'll come to you, Geeks, because obviously you heard from Dylan there. He's worried about this game more so maybe than some of the other kind of more eye-catching oppositions in terms of bigger clubs. How are you feeling, obviously, ahead of tomorrow night?
Yeah, I've got that same sort of nerves, really, because it's that sort of club that turn up against us. They do, and you've got Welbeck who's just popping up with goals. They've got awkwardly good players. It is nothing that we shouldn't be able to cope with, but it's just making sure that the guys are. Oh, Ali, we're getting feedback.
I mean, mute Ali.
And then it is just making sure that we're up for every match, that we're meeting that challenge, And right now, it's kind of like, where's Declan Rice at? Where's Zubi at? What have we got? Because there's a fine balance between right now needing to rotate and being able to do so effectively. And it's that balance that I'm a little bit worried about. Let's face it, once we've got past this game, we've got Macclesfield, which you could play the B team for. No disrespect to Macclesfield, but that is the truth of it. And we're not in a live scenario until next week, so they get a nice another rest till Leverkusen. So it's kind of like, are we trying to thread the eye of the needle on certain players? It's it's an awkward one, isn't it? It's going to require us to be at our best to get all 3 points.
Definitely. Coach Ali, how you feeling ahead of this Brighton game?
Yes, boys. Yeah, I'm feeling quite comfortable, to be honest. It's another game. Nothing changes. I'm going to say the same stuff. Pick the right team and win. It's a difficult ground to go to. We've had a decent record there over the years. As G said earlier, Brighton's form is up and down. We've got to obviously look out for people like Danny Welbeck and things like that. But overall, quietly confident. It's pleasing to hear that Declan Rice sounds like he's fit for tomorrow's game. Havertz seems to be okay. And Odegaard might have a chance of being in the team as well, from what I've read earlier in the day.
Okay. I mean, I kind of touched upon it already. I mean, I am feeling nervous ahead of this game. Midweek, under the lights, Brighton away. It's potential. I think we're getting feedback again. Ali. Yeah, so it's definitely one of those games where I'm thinking to myself, this looks like, when I've spoken about Arsenal's mentality, this is the game.
Yes.
These are the games I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like I say, midweek, under the lights, Brighton away, bit of not a bogey team, but a team that can turn up against a big side and just give you a surprise result. Like when you play Brighton away, form goes completely out the window because they could be absolutely atrocious and we can walk away with a 4-5, even 6-1 win, or they can turn up like prime Barcelona and absolutely play us off the park. Yeah, and it's one of those games where I feel really uneasy about it. Like I know I'm already, you know what it is? I'm already thinking about this game today. I know I'm going to be at work thinking about this game. I'm going to be in a gym thinking about this game, and then I'm going to be so nervous. And I haven't personally actually felt like that for a lot of our fixtures, that we've had recently, even against some of the bigger sides. So this is going to be a real test of this group's, mentality, still fight, etc. I mean, it's clear on paper we're the better side. We're top of the league, etc., etc. But this is going to really, really show me just how much, we're going to really want this, because I don't think this is going to be an easy game to navigate for us at all.
Yeah, but the boys, we also have to think like it couldn't get any worse than Wolves away.
Ooh, so I don't know about that.
I don't know.
The reality is it can't. The reason, sorry, boys, hold on. The reason I say what I'm saying. No, the reason I'm saying this is because if we can put in a shit performance like we did in the last half an hour against Wolves, we can easily get battered by Brighton. So that's not my issue. My issue is, can these boys have the right mentality for 97 minutes of a match and not play patchy football and go out there and win? Because player for player in the first 11 and squad, we are better than Brighton Football Club. It's as simple as that. We were supposed to be better than Wolves, but look what they did. So this comes down to Arsenal's, like G said, I missed you boys' piece earlier. Yeah. I'm sure you touched on it. At the end of the day, it's up to Arsenal's mentality and how we approach the match. It's as simple as that. What do you think? Brighton are just going to sit back and just shaking by the knees and allow us to come into their half and score goals? We know it's not going to work like that. Every single game is hard in the Premier League. Burnley 3, Brentford 4. Yeah, but Brentford were 3-0 up, and look what happened there. We were 2-0 up against Wolves, and look what happened. So if these boys have not got to kick up the arse after the Wolves game, then nothing will ever. They will win nothing, because at the end of the day, it's about mentality.
I think it's certain matches and certain teams, and I'm going to say Brentford, Wolves, and Brighton are all in a similar bracket for me in terms of capability. I know Wolves are down, but I feel like we try to coast and manage those games and try not to expend as much as possible, and we've been found out. And I think that's what it is. And I think sometimes when you go in there with a certain mindset, it's hard to lift your level. And if we all know if we played at our level, we should have beaten all three teams. And I don't think we go in there playing at the required level. I think we're trying to manage performance too much.
Yeah. But there you go. You said this, you're spot on, Geeks, because it's about levels, right? And you've all said it. So but my point is, I'm not worried about tomorrow, because me personally, they should not be dropping their mentality, and that in turn their levels should not drop. And if they do, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, I think
it's as simple as that.
Eddie. I think you're spot on in that. At the end of the day, this only becomes a difficult game if we make it a difficult game.
Yeah,
I think you are. Like, at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, we're not in control of how Brighton play, but we are in control of how we play.
How we do.
And at the end of the day, we are the better team, individually, collectively. And there is no shadow of doubt about that. So I do really relate to what you're saying. Again, I think for those of us that are nervous about the game, I think it's because in the back of our minds, we are suffering from that PTSD that we know this Arsenal side, as good as they are, as consistent as they've been, because let's deal with the facts. We are top of the league. We aced the Champions League so far. We're in both the cup competitions. Despite some of the performances we've put in, we have consistently won games, or we've at least consistently not lost games.
Yeah.
But we also know that some of the stats we've seen in terms of individual errors, we watch our team play. We know what our team's like. And sometimes when you add the context of a midweek game, late night, under the lights, you know, a bit of a tricky away fixture, we do know that sometimes our players do have this bozo moment in the locker where, you know, they do sometimes fail to kind of turn up. But Ali's absolutely spot on. I think if we approach this game in the right manner, and we perform to the level we're capable of, and the level that we've kind of consistently performed to throughout the season, then this should be, even as difficult as it might be a game, we should be navigating our way to 3 points. Now, before we get onto the predicted lineups and we start talking about obviously who we want to see play, who we want to see bench, etc., I've been seeing a huge amount of narratives obviously floating around on Instagram, on X, etc. Now, I want to get your perspectives on this, because there's been a lot of noise about set pieces. There's been a lot of noise about lack of creativity. There's been a lot of noise about the style of play Arteta plays. And this is from rivals. This is from pundits. This is from ex-pros. This is from even sections within our own fan base, including me, because I've not hid from the fact that I've not always been a fan of the way Arteta does play football. I probably would prefer a better style of play, but at the end of the day, if it translates to trophies, I couldn't care less. So just on that, I'm going to come to you all individually, because I want to know like what your thoughts are. Like, what are your genuine thoughts with regards the whole narrative of set piece FC, ugly football, dodgy tactics at corners? What do you make of all of these narratives flying around on the timeline? I'll come to you first, Dylan.
Yeah, firstly, I think you're all about the BBC's post, isn't it, saying that Liverpool are the set piece kings and all the new stuff. Yeah. Do you know what, G? I was the very one in the Discord nearly every single week saying how bad we're playing. This is the worst, X, Y, and Z. And I think after the Chelsea game, right, even though how bad we played in that second half, right, I kind of just had a little realization and just said, who cares? It's 3 points. And that's the God honest truth. Like, as you said, ex pros, pundits, journalists, rival fans,
everyone.
Let them talk. Let them talk. As long as we are holding that trophy at the end of that season, it does not matter what way we play football. And that is the God honest truth. If we win the league and then we're into a Champions League final, would you rather us be control of the game, play bad football and win, right? Or go and play
Yeah.
quick play football and lose. Who
Lose. Yeah.
cares? Who
Yeah.
cares? At the end of the day, I do not care as long as they're holding a trophy at the end of the season. And that's my mentality now for the next 9 games in the league. At the end of the day, we can play the best football in the world or the worst football in the world. I don't care as long as we win. And that's the way I'm gone. I was so pissed off, pardon the French, every single week. Here we go again, sideways, backwards, left, right, just play the ball forward, play Jokeres in X, Y, and Z. I don't care anymore. Just win the game. And that's the way I'm going.
Yeah.
And all that numbers on X and you see all the people, how bad Arsenal are playing, all the worst champions and X, Y, and Z. Yeah, you might say we're the worst champions, but we're still going to be champions. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah,
That's
the one that really made me laugh and tickled me a little bit was you had Obi Mikel. For those of you who don't know, Obi Mikel was essentially a squad player at times under Mourinho, played in a CDM position for probably the ugliest football and bullish
FC,
the Premier League has ever seen. I mean, hit it long and hope that Drogba gets a flick on and Lampard gets a tap in, and then sit behind the ball for 88 minutes. I mean, the irony, this guy was calling Arsenal cheats. He was saying our brand of football was ugly. And I just looked at it and I just thought to myself, wow, like in a way, it annoyed me. But then I just thought it actually tickled me because I just thought these people are so triggered by the fact that we are winning games. And I'm a bit like you, Dylan. Like, I've banged on a little bit about Arteta's tactics, our style of play. But right now, I kind of like the fact that it really annoys other fans. I kind of like the when every time we were scoring corners, I was a bit like, oh, another set piece. And then I thought to myself, you know what? Nah, the way this is annoying everybody, I really hope we go on to score every goal between now and the end of the season,
100%.
win the league with a set piece. It would be absolutely brilliant.
But you find it funny.
It's an own goal that gets it.
But even you're seeing Sky Sports do whole segments now on Arsenal and set pieces and how many goals we've scored and X, Y, and Z and all this type of stuff. Well, so, what about it? Like, set pieces have been in football for hundreds of years.
Literally.
But now, and I hope all the match going day fans celebrate it like they're after winning a trophy, because the more annoys people, the better. And the only reason rival fans and ex-pundits and all is because it generates clicks, likes, and revenue. And that is the only reason. I just laugh at it. What about it?
And it's like you said, I'm going to come to you geeks and I'm going to come to you, Coach Ali, in a second. And the thing is, at the end of the day, we are in the business of results, and Arteta's getting results. And at the end of the day, I'll be honest, right now, I genuinely, like you, Dylan, I couldn't care less how we win these games. With 9 games to go, give me the most disgusting football on the planet I've ever witnessed. If this translates into your 8 wins, your 9 wins, and we go on to win the league, I couldn't. When I'm halfway through that bottle of Hennessy in May, I literally could not care less. So I'm going to come to you, geeks. Have your say on what you've made of all the narratives flying around online.
Right. I'm going to deal with the rivals first, right? The moment we land the trophy, they've got to deal with the ugly truth that the club that was in the mud that they were kicking, that was Banter FC, has corrected themselves and got all the way up while their teams have crumbled. And it is an ugly pill to swallow for them. It is. We're talking about people like Neville and all of the stuff that he done in a United shirt, trying to lecture us. Jamie lets that gob at someone, Carragher. I mean, come on now. And to all those other rival
that's
fans,
a good one.
All you other rival fans, I want you to remember this next sentence. When it comes to the English in the World Cup, I'm hoping that you stand by this narrative and you demand that Tuchel does not put Saka and Declan Rice on corner kick deliveries. Because what are you going to be looking for? But England are getting the result no matter what. It is anything to bash us. I remember a few years ago when we were in the mud, what were they saying? Oh, Arsenal are too soft. They
No
can't,
men,
they're
no
not enough
leaders.
fight in the box. They keep conceding from corners. They keep conceding from free kicks. Now we span it around. Now what? It doesn't matter what we do. It wouldn't matter if we were playing through balls. How boring is it? They just slip a ball through and they run onto it and they score it. It doesn't matter what we do. If we play tiki-taka football, they pass too much. It doesn't matter what we do. Just deal with it, you bunch of saddos.
Absolutely. And you know what? This actually crossed my mind. When you mentioned the name Neville, I'll come to you in a second, Coach Ali. This literally crossed my mind when when you go back and you watch that game when the United team played Arsenal and you watch the way they kicked us all over the park, the amount of leg breaking tackles that you saw in that game. They should have easily ended the game with 8 men, 9 men, but nobody batted an eyelid. And it's so funny because I remember the narrative and I said it myself, we're not strong enough. We're not bullish enough. We do get bullied off the park. And now all of a sudden, we're bullying other teams physically. We're scoring goals. We're dominating the box. Now all of a sudden, they're moving the goalposts. So, Coach Ali, what have you made of it all? Because I'll be honest, it's literally everywhere right now.
Yeah. Alexander Hleb, Andre Arshavin, Samir Nasri, Robin Van Persie, Cesc Fabregas. I think that was Theo Walcott. Move it forward. Alexis Sanchez, Mesut Ozil, Olivier Giroud, Oxlade-Chamberlain. The list can go on. They played fantastic football. Jack Wilshere, it won us fuck all.
Yeah.
So, and then they were berating us then. Excuse my language, but I just think it's a shit narrative they're using. It's a boring one. It's an uneducated one. It's a money spinner, as the boys have said.
Yeah.
You've all hit the nail on the head in various different ways, but the conclusion is the same. When it comes to the end of the season and the trophies are given out, and it says Arsenal FC 2026 Carabao Cup winners, Premier League winners, Champions League winners, FA Cup winners, it doesn't say they scored 57 goals from corners.
Yeah.
So this narrative, we shouldn't even be giving it airtime, but I know why we are, because it's everywhere. All the professional pundits are saying it. It's all over on X. But you have to be very, what's the word? What can I use and be very polite with this? You have to be thick-skinned in terms of us as fans. But in terms of their narrative, it's hollow. There's no weight to it. There's no substance to what they're saying, because all their teams have grabbed our players in the past years: Roy Keane, Jaap Stam, Dennis Irwin, all these guys, right? Drogba, John Terry, Carvalho. They've done it all.
Accolades for it.
Tony Adams, Steve Bold. Listen, George Graham hit the nail on the head. No one likes us. Who cares?
Yeah,
or something. Was that George Graham or someone said that, right?
Yeah.
So that's the mentality we need. Now, again, this is going to show tomorrow again in our character when we play Brighton. Be ruthless, win the game, be physical, earn the right to play football. If not, corners it is, set pieces it is, penalties it is. Because football now, boys, and we all know this, it's all system based. So this is not an Arsenal problem.
It's changed.
This is a Premier League football problem. This is a European problem. Or is it a European problem? Because when we play in Europe, teams go toe-to-toe with us, and we know how that ends. Arsenal winning by 2, 3, or 4. So I think we've got like 98 goals this season or something like that. We can't be that boring.
Yeah, no.
Do we play in patches? Yes, we do. Can we play for longer periods of time and be consistent with that? Of course we can.
Yeah.
Just a last point on this topic. There was a show earlier in the week on it was another major platform, and they had the 3 guests on, and one of them said Mikel Arteta is pushing these guys forward. He's a journalist, right? And he was saying, I was watching Arteta, like I have been saying, because I've been to a couple of live games, so I've been able to witness it. He's pushing these players forward. So when they're sitting back, this is not a Mikel Arteta tactic. Now, if these boys want to grow a set of balls and show us what they got tomorrow at the Amex, please do what the manager is saying and step forward, because you're putting pressure on yourself, and then these narratives are coming around like we're negative, we're boring, we're this, we're that. We've got 10 men on. We're playing Chelsea with 10 men twice this season. We're the ones that look like we got 10 men. That is not all down to Arteta. This is a mentality in the squad that needs to shift and be more ruthless with your passes, be more accurate with your pass completion to get out of these situations and scenarios that you're putting yourselves in. Yes, we can blame him for being negative. I blame Mikel Arteta more on his in-game management and his squad rotation, not the tactics. These players are going back to type because they've got PTSD over the past 2-3 years. That's the problem.
They've got to take ownership. Definitely, the players have got to take ownership.
We're not getting these corners and these own goals because we're playing in our own half.
Thank you very much.
We're getting these corners and with our own goals because we're playing in their final third. That's a big difference.
Thank you very much.
That is very true.
And what's going on? What's happening in the Premier League, lads? We're facing banks of 6s and 8s.
Yeah.
In the Champions League, we're not facing that. So that's why we've got 20 goals in 8 games and only conceded 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is true.
That's where we're at.
It is true. Brenny, welcome, Brenny. Obviously, Brenny, you've just been brought from backstage. Big up, OG Brenny. Brenny, we've already kind of spoken a little bit about 2 things. So, first of all, we're going to get onto the predicted lineups, shortly. But obviously, as you've just joined us, 2 things we've already discussed, and I want to give you an opportunity to have your say. So, first of all, how are you feeling ahead of what is a massive game against Brighton away tomorrow night? And secondly, what are your thoughts on all the narratives flying around online about Arsenal's ugly style of play, set-piece FC, boring brand of football? So 2 questions there for you.
Okay.
You have the floor, my friend.
Big up to yourselves. Big up to the chat. Dylan, long time, man. Yeah, hope you're good. Big up to all.
Good too, man.
Yeah, right, my man. Yeah, all good, all good. So tomorrow, it's a game where we have to win. A good point is it's not going to be if we pick up draws now. For me, it's not going to be a good point because this is the business end of the season. So for me, we have to win tomorrow. I'm a little bit on edge for tomorrow. I'm not nervous, but it's about how the players are feeling. And we're playing the same time as City, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, and I feel it's going to be a very, very, very tricky game for us. I don't think it's not going to be a White Hart Lane performance. In my opinion, I think it's one of them games where we have to grind out a result, if the mentality is if they're mentally strong tomorrow, we'll win this game. But it's like a few players feel that as well. I feel they feel the nerves, they feel the vibes. But I think for those that have been there already, they've already been in 2 title races. Let's not count last season. This is their third. For some, it's their 3rd title race, and they should be made of sterner stuff. And basically encouraging those that have not been there before. Eze, for example, this is his first. Encouraging them. You know what I mean? And I just feel we have to make a really good start against Brighton, get that early goal, and then push on for a second. That's what I feel. But Brighton, they're a side that can just turn up and spoil anyone's day. So. We have to respect them, not too much, because you know what I mean. And with regards to, I'll give my score prediction later on anyway. But but with regards to the football that's being played, well, I've seen this type of football before. I've seen it under George Graham, where we sometimes played some really good football. And then the football that George Graham played, in his. We spoke about this already in his last 3 seasons. It was just defending, a lot of set piece goals, and Ian Wright and Paul Merson with the odd few goals from Kevin Campbell, Alan Smith, and we didn't really score a lot in midfield during those times, and because we were set piece FC from long ago, but no one, the media never used to make a big deal of it, compared to now. And I mean, it is because we're hated, and we've been hated for decades. So the football we're playing now, sometimes when I see how we set up and when we let teams have the ball, for me, it seems to me that's like it's what they're doing on the training ground, and it's not all on the manager, but I just think at times, I know Arteta likes to micromanage. He's not the only one. Pep Guardiola micromanages. A lot of managers micromanage. So it's stuff they work on the training ground, and when you're micromanaged, it's ingrained into you. I've got workmates. I've got workmates as well who over the last few years have been micromanaged, and now that they're with me, and I'm helping them, it's like they feel they still in that zone, in that mode where I'm like, no, you're free. To think that you're free to speak your mind, you're free to do what you want to do, and you know what I mean. So with these lot, what they need to do as well is they just need to. They need to talk amongst themselves and say, well, listen, we've got to try something else, and I'm sure the manager's not going to mind us trying something else or something we may have worked on in training. I just think we've. For me, would you believe I've enjoyed Arsenal this season so much more in the Champions League than I have in the league, in the way we play football. I've loved it. Those 8 games, I've really loved it. I've enjoyed it. I've embraced it. That's why if we win the Champions League this season, guys, I would not be surprised at all if we win the Champions League. But in the league, to be honest, no one's playing fantastic football.
Yeah.
At the moment. So there is that. There is that to consider as well, because I think if everyone was on it and we are how we are now, the league table could be a lot different. So for me, it's just a case of I'm looking at it now, and I wasn't happy with I've had to wake up a bit, because I was looking at the Chelsea result and I wasn't happy with the performance. But then Monday morning I woke up and I just said to myself, you know what? If we're gonna have ugly moments like that, and we pick up 3 points, then that's just
I think touching on what you said, because we're gonna get onto the predicted lineup shortly. But I think one thing you said there, obviously about the Champions League and the Premier League, the more and more I think about this, I just think it's more of a reflection of how teams. I mean, Ali has said it 1,000 times. Yeah, it's how teams set up in the Premier League as opposed to how teams set up in the Champions League. And I know Ali was piping up then, and I knew exactly what he was going to say, because when teams come and play against Arsenal, they get absolutely, played off the park, and we've beat some quality sides in Europe, hands down. And I think this is why teams are. These teams that play us, home or away, they want to collect points. And the easiest way to collect points against Arsenal is to set up defensively. Try and hit us on the counter, low block us, try and get a set piece goal themselves, frustrate us, stay in the game for 60, 70, maybe 80 minutes. So I do think the way we're playing, like you said, Brenny, nobody is playing tiki-taki football in the Premier League. Nobody is playing Wenger ball in the Premier League. Nobody is playing prime, Brazil in the 50s, 60s, 70s style of football. They're just not. And I think it's more of a reflection of how football has evolved and the direction the Premier League is going in. You know, we're not seeing free flowing games. Like when we see a game and it's like ending 3-2, 4-3, like you got the whole nation talking about it because it's just so seldom that we're getting games with like tons and tons of goals. So I think, you know, if teams set up differently against us, I think we will see a more expansive, you know, offensive style of play from Arsenal. But I think at the moment, you know, what we're having to do every single game is we're having to kind of like, you know, navigate a win. We're having to try and get blood out of a stone because at the end of the day, most of the game they've got 10 or 11 players, you know, all banked, you know, behind the ball. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move the show ahead because I know that Ali's got a bit of a tight schedule. We don't want to go on too long tonight because we're doing an instant reaction tomorrow night, and I'm going to say a little bit more about that. But I'm going to start with you, Ali, this time. Obviously, on the screen, for those of you who are listening and can't watch, we've got Arsenal's predicted lineup. We've got Raya in goal. We've got a back four of Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Hincapié. We've got a midfield three of Zubi, Norgard, and Eze, and we've got a front three of Madueke, Martinelli, and Gyökeres. Give me your thoughts, Ali, on the lineup. What do you like? What you don't like? What would you change? Just give me a rationale behind this Arsenal predicted lineup.
Yeah, if Rice is fit, he plays up front. That's 3 runners again. We can't have that. It's not going to work. It hasn't worked all season. We haven't won with that front 3, if I'm not mistaken, in any game. We've always had to bring somebody else on. We need Trossard or Saka playing in the wing positions, one of the two. If I'm dropping someone, I'm dropping Trossard for this game. I'm keeping Saka and you play Madueke on the left or something like that. Martinelli does not have the technical ability to play against Brighton. We need someone with a bit of... I personally believe Madueke's got more ability than Martinelli does in a game like this. And he hasn't shown me nothing in the Premier League for me to be like, yes, I want Martinelli to be playing in this game. So Saka up front, Gyökeres through the middle, Madueke on the left if you're going to experiment and do something different.
Okay, no problem. Dylan, I'm going to come to you. This is obviously Arsenal's predicted lineup. It's not obviously the official lineup, but it's what is predicted. What are your thoughts on the 11 that is expected to play?
Yeah, I like it, and you might not agree with me, but there's a couple of changes I would make for that. I'd like to see Havertz play, even though he's not 100% fit. And to even give him 45 minutes. I'd also like to see Mascara play right back over Timber. Give Timber the rest he needs. And Martinelli. Look, if you're going to play with a Martinelli or Trossard, you have to go with Martinelli with the best of the bad bunch. But as Ali said, playing Madueke on the left, that might be a way to go about it as well. Because look, it's a decent lineup, but that's not probably changes I'd make. I'd like to see Mascara play right back over Timber though, to give Timber the rest he needs. To be honest.
Okay, Fairs, Geeks.
Yeah, I mean, White and Rice at minimum should be on the bench, right? So
yeah, from what I've gathered from some of the narratives flying around on the timeline, he seems okay.
Okay, so for me, I would start Rice instead of Zubimendi because I feel like Zubimendi is mentally tired. But I would bring him on for Rice. Does that make sense? So Norgard plays the whole game, but I'm starting with a different player because I feel like you need that control in the midfield and that extra bit of engine up again with Norgard. And then Zubi you can use to limit that, like 60 minutes if we're looking good. And I would do the same with Timber. I would start with Timber, and then maybe if White is fit enough to see out after 60, whatever, that's the sort of thing that I would do there, just so that we've got a solid start to the game because you can't win it in the first half, but you can definitely lose it in a way, you know. And so it's just, I feel like we're going to need to start the game well up front. Why is Saka not in the lineup? Is there do you know what I mean? I still feel, even though he's not at his best and he's not that player that we're hanging our hat on, he's still that best option at times on the right wing. A lot of good stuff came through him. So, again, I wouldn't mind starting him, bringing Madueke on. I feel like I'm looking at some of my substitute movements and just thinking that I would go slightly different.
Okay. Brenny, what about you?
Saka has to be in that lineup. He's for me, he's picked up a bit in recent weeks, and you just know that with this being a business end in the season, you just know the GA is going to pop up at some point. So he has to start. Noni, I'm with Ali. I would even play him. I'd actually play him on the right and play Saka on the left. Change it up a bit against his Brighton line because Hertz is going to think, we're gonna play the play we normally play and set up the way we normally set up. So for me, Norgard I'd be happy with, but Zubimendi would have to be in the 8, and Norgard would have to be in the 6. That's the case because Declan Rice won't make tomorrow, will he? So yeah, it'd be Martinelli. I think he could make more of an impression of from the bench. But for me, with that lineup, it would just be Zubimendi in the 8. Norgard would have to come in as well. Yeah, and Norgard's fresh as well, and for me, well, no, I wouldn't play him tomorrow, but against Mansfield and maybe in a few more league games as well. If he has a really good game against Mansfield, freshen it up with MLS as well, because I think we also need
for sure.
We need to freshen it up as well a bit in the coming weeks to keep players fresh. Because I believe that everyone has a part to play now, and we still got a squad good enough to deal with. I'm not saying with certain players play them week in, week out, but we need something to make cameo appearances. Jesus to come off the bench, maybe get a goal or two, or not just Brighton, but I'm just talking about games and Kai Havertz as well, who I wouldn't have Kai Havertz in, say, like in a number 9 or a 10. I'm only talking about because of his injury issues. So yeah. That's what I would go with tomorrow.
No problem. We're moving on to the stage of the show where I like to call it the marvelous or the madness. This is where we get to look at Bobby's People's lineup. So we go through each lineup. Obviously, each of our panelists get a chance to score the starting 11 from one of Bobby's People's out of 10 and give a rationale as to why. So I'm going to start with you, Geeks. Go from the top all the way to the bottom of my screen. So
Sorry to cut you, lads. Yeah. I'm going to have to go. I've got a meeting that I need to attend. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Take care, Coach.
I hope the Arsenal can win tomorrow. I look forward. I'll be on stream tomorrow for the reaction at 9:30 p.m.
No problem.
I'll see you all then. Just a quick one, G. My prediction for the game tomorrow before I leave, I would like a 3-1 win, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2-1.
Cool. Thank you so much.
It depends on how we start and what lineup he picks, etc. Enjoy the rest of the show, lads, and I'll speak to you soon.
Take care, bro.
Love, boys.
Easy. Right, so we will start at the top, like I said, with you, Nick, aka Geeks. So you've got a lineup of Raya in goal. You've got a back four of Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié. You've got a midfield three of Norgard, Zubi, and Eze, and you've got a front three of Saka, Jesus, and Gyökeres. Give us a score out of 10 and why.
Okay, so if we're going with the assumption that Rice isn't available, so otherwise you'd score that down naturally, but I think most people are assuming he's not. For me, that is a 7. I don't like Jesus up front. For me, that's not where I would go. So that's the only reason I would mark that team down. I feel Eze needs to stay in to continue to build. This is the sort of game that I'm looking for him to deliver. Saka is starting, as Brenny said, is starting to pick up. And I think, again, needs to keep starting games. Same with Gyökeres. I think that Eze, Saka, Gyökeres could be the key to the title for us. That little thing that we saw against Tottenham. So that has to stay in. Jesus is the one that gets it marked down for me.
No problem. Dylan, you've got a starting 11. You'll probably be starting 11. You'll probably be happy because you've got Mascara in at right back. Obviously,
Yeah.
Raya in goal. You've got a back four of Mascara, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié. You've got a midfield three of Zubi, Rice, and Eze, and a front three of Madueke, Saka, and Jesus through the middle. Give us a score out of 10 and any reasons why.
I'll be nice this evening. I give it a 7. I can't even give it a 7, right? Because that front three is just pure carnage. Madueke doesn't know what he's doing sometimes. Jesus takes too many touches, and then Saka just has to be, star boy headlines. The defense is solid. I really like Mascara playing at right back. I don't know if you are the same. I think we got a really talented player.
Yeah,
we got a really talented player there. But no, I'm gonna have to give it a 5 because that front three just no.
I agree. I mean, I was reading the lineup, and until I got to the front three, I was thinking, okay, yeah, the front three, with all due respect, really good lineup, but the front three for me spoils it. Your lineup, Brenny, is you've got Raya in goal, you've got a back four of Mascara, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, you've got a midfield three of Norgard, Zubi, and Havertz, and you've got a front three of Madueke, Saka, and Gyökeres. Interesting one here.
Yeah, it is. I like this. I really do like it, and it's quite. I mean, with Mosquera as well. I mean, right back or centre back for me as well. I think he's also one of those players. I mean, if he started tomorrow, I wouldn't complain at all. And I think he's and for me, I would go. Do you know what? I'm going for I'll go for an 8. I like this.
Yeah, I think it's the best one we've probably seen of the three so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, I quite confidently agree with that 8. Back to you, geeks. You've got Raya in goal, back four of Timber, Mascara, Gabriel, and Hincapié. You've got a midfield three of Zubi, Rice, Eze, and a front three of Saka, Martinelli, and Gyökeres.
So I completely echo everything you guys are saying about Mosquera. He is an absolute talent. At right back, I think defensively he can cope. I'm not so sure about going forward. I think the limitations we see in Timber, it would be exasperated with Mosquera because he is, even though he started his career as a winger, I feel like he is definitely more suited to centre back. So the back four on this, I don't hate. I like this. I've been kind of idea of Saliba coming out and Mosquera going in, I don't hate. Zubi and Rice is our strongest midfield pairing. Eze, Saka, yes. And it's always that flip of the coin between Martinelli and Trossard. And Trossard going back to Brighton, it's one of those where we might see that might actually be the stronger one this time. So I would give that a solid 8. I think that's a really good lineup.
No problem. Back to you, Dylan. You've got a starting 11 of Raya in goal, back four of Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, a midfield three of Rice, Eze, and Havertz, and then a front three of Saka, Madueke, and Gyökeres.
I like this a lot. I like this a lot. As I said in the comments a few times when Havertz came back and he was linking up with Gyökeres, it's like Henry and Bergkamp from Timu. So it's just it's sort of like it's just something I really like. I'm going on 9.
Yeah, that's a good lineup. And you know what is about that? It's the midfield that really tops it off for me. The fact that you've incorporated Havertz and Eze in the same midfield, which we haven't seen a lot this season. So that's really, really good. Brenny, last lineup of the night. You have Raya in goal, back four of Mosquera, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, midfield three of Norgard, Rice, and Eze, and a front three of Saka, Martinelli, and Gyökeres.
Yeah, that's another 8 for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Do like that.
Yeah, you're right there, Brenny.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, I think this lineup here, the one just before that Dylan got, I think is probably the standout lineup.
I do as well. Evening. If you took Madueke out for a Trossard or a Martinelli, that would probably be the most exciting lineup we can put out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
To be honest, I don't.
Yeah, go on.
But go on, Jim. No, it's okay. Go on. Go on.
No. Go ahead, Dylan. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. The Geeks was on about with the Trossard for Madueke. Do you think that Trossard has played well enough to start the game? If you go back to Chelsea and go back to...
No. I completely. The thing about it's almost like Trossard and Madueke are two. If you could combine them and have the exciting play that you get from Madueke and the output of Trossard, you'd almost have the winger that we would need. Do you know what I mean? Madueke has no end product. So he's a great ball carrier, but he needs to find his man more or shape up and take a shot more. Trossard, just when he's on it, he will get us a goal. He'll shoot, and he's the best striker of the ball at the club. Up there with not possibly Jokic for me. And so he can just work a bit. I don't know what you boys think.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I mean, what it is they're like chalk and cheese, isn't it? It's like Madueke's got everything you want in a winger, but just no end product. And then Trossard has he's
end product with no win.
Yeah, he's got the end product and probably arguably one of the most intelligent footballers we've had at the club. But just lacks that bit of pace. Just that dynamic type of player. So it is really difficult. And I think Geek summed it up really well when you said if you could combine the two, that would be our left winger right there, which is crazy, but we can't. So hopefully we solve that in the summer. Obviously, we've come to the end of the show. We're going to do score predictions, and then we're going to obviously give you all an opportunity to let the people know where they can find you before we end the stream. So I'm going to come to you first, Dylan. Score predictions for tomorrow night.
I'm hoping 4-0, 4 set pieces. No. 3 set pieces and an own goal. Fingers crossed. No, I'm honestly just... I honestly couldn't care, G. If it's a 2-1, a 1-0, honestly, but I will take a 2-0, a comfortable 2-0. Either way, as long as we 3 points in the bag, I do not care, and that's the truth.
Absolutely, I'm with you. Brenny, score prediction.
You know what? I'm praying for 3-0, but my brain, my head, is telling me 1-1 tomorrow. It's gonna be a difficult game, man. I'm being real. If we was at home, I would have said 2-1.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what we were saying earlier on. It's just that if this was a Champions League game against somebody, I would have said, yeah, you know what, we're in this 3-0. But I just find Brighton are gonna use the dark arts. They're gonna low block us. We have to find a way, but I don't think we'll lose the game. So I'm praying I'm wrong, but I'm going with 1-1.
Okay, Geeks.
Yeah, I can't. It's one of those where nearly any outcome you could kind of rationalise, can't you? I'm somewhere between us going a goal down and getting a 2-1, 3-1, but I can't decide whether it'll be. I'm going to on the side of caution and go 2-1. I think it's going to be. We might have a decent performance, but the score won't show it. If that makes sense.
Okay.
I've got a feeling about us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I'm nervous ahead of this game, but I think we'll scrape it, and I think it will be 1-0. I think it will be a real edgy affair. We're not going to run away with this one. I think they're going to turn up. And I think the probability of winning this 1-0 with a set piece is very, very likely. So I'm going to go 1-0. We've reached the end of the show. Obviously, Bobby, can you do the honors and give our guests and panelists the stage, please?
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me on as always. And big up to you, Bobby. And look forward to linking up with you again and the watch-alongs and challenges. But yeah, you can find me on my own channel, Brenny K74, and it's going places. I'm getting quite a bit of traction. Not as many subscribers, but I'll get there. And it's all about patience. And I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing with the content. And yeah, but my shorts are doing quite well at the moment. You can also find me on Instagram. You can find me on Threads, and you could also find me on X. And also, you can also find me here on the Takeover as well. And big up to yourselves.
Yeah. Honestly, go over to Brenny's channel and watch his shorts. He does loads of TikTok dances and everything. It'll be very entertaining. No, thanks for having me on. It's been a while since I've been on. I really enjoyed doing it. I'm glad I'm back, and hopefully I can be back on now more frequent. But you can obviously find me here live on YouTube or on the Discord. I'm usually the one that's very calm in the Discord, so when everything's kind of kicking off, I'm just kind of keeping the peace. But make sure you like and subscribe, and honest to God, just keep following it and just keep going along with this journey, because this channel is going to take off, and you have to be part of it. So you have to keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
100%.
You can find me here on Football Takeover. Dial 0800 Rent a Gooner, and I will be there. And I will be back to celebrate with the boys when we've got another 3 points in the bag and only 8 games remaining. If you do like the content, please like and subscribe. They're top guys here, and support your fellow Gooners. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you. Some really nice, kind words there. So first of all, just want to thank Bobby. Bobby's still on the road to recovery. We hope to have him back as soon as possible, but only when he's ready. But Bobby's always here in the background, creating the slides with us in spirit, pulling the strings, helping us out with the show. So we do really massively appreciate you, Bobby, and obviously answering your questions as well. I mean, he's had surgery, he's on the road to recovery, but he still gives up his time away from his family and his recovery, which he probably should be focusing on to answer your questions with regards to transfer. So massive respect to him. Want to big up obviously Ali in his absence. Very busy schedule as always. He's a PT, he's a boxing coach, but again, sometimes he's on the show driving in between meetings. It's really, really nice to have that kind of level of commitment within the team. Want to massively big up obviously all our guests. Geeks, who's obviously Geeks and Brenny, both regular panelists on the show. Appreciate massively them giving up their spare time away from work, family commitments, etc. To obviously visited his barber. I did visit my barber. I visit my barber on a regular.
Special interest needed. Thanks, Bob. That's great shorts. That's what went through my head. What's so special about Brenny's shorts? I want to see that.
But yeah, no, massive thank you to obviously Geeks and Brenny as always. Dylan, I thought you were absolutely brilliant on tonight's show.
Thank you.
Always bringing the energy. I thought you spoke really well, so we'll definitely be getting you on for more shows.
Looking forward to it.
No, excellent. And obviously with context as well, he's got a bit of a head cold. He's not feeling 100%, but he obviously still committed to come on tonight's show. I want to big up everybody who's watched tonight's show, everybody in the comments. Please, if for whatever reason you haven't liked or subscribed, head over to YouTube. Please do like and subscribe. But yeah, obviously want to thank Bobby as well for the visiting his barber. And just to let you know, I've already booked my appointment for a beard trim at the weekend because it's going to be outgrown by then. So it's all good. We will be back. We would usually do a reaction show the night after. But I've got parents' evening, so I'm not going to get home till about 9 o'clock on Thursday. So wish me luck with that. But we are, as a result, going to go live instantly after the match. So the match concludes at about 15 minutes past 9. We're going to go live no later than 9:30 tomorrow night. So hopefully, as Geek says, we will hopefully we will be celebrating 3 points in the bag. Maintaining our 5-point lead at the top, and obviously with 8 games to go. But obviously, from all of us here at the Football Takeover, from all our panelists, everybody in the comments, in the chat, want to wish you a good evening and a good night. And let's hope we can get the 3 points. Come on, you Gunners. Take care, people.
Come on, you Gunners.
See you later.